All right, here we go again. Buckle up. I'm on my phone. I'm not going to hook that other external mic up. Have the trailer. I'm a little bit late, but I think I can get away with just one trailer load and then drop the trailer and do the rest in the van, but we'll see. I don't, then I don't. It don't matter. Guy was from Florida, works there. So he's trying to get out of here. So, well, so I ended up being a whistleblower in the government, so it's probably a whole different thing. Right. Again, it's not like it's kind of like whistleblower by default. I mean, they're actually deep state. So again, since this thing all happened, and again, my work is probably the major move, moving to expose the deep state. Again, there's still a lot of people play around with that. They're deep state, and they're the big deep state hunters, you know. Right. But my my effort is pretty darn big, and then the deep state comes out. So again, so who is a whistleblower actually? Somebody being killed by the deep state. Right. Again, they that's part of the scam. They almost force you to be like there's no other way to do it. Again, I had a family back when I left the government and I pushed for the retirement. I still I still had some contact with my family. Right. You can't just walk off with no money. Right. I spent 20 years serving this country. And again, obviously, my whole life is serving the country more so than people that are in government getting paid $150,000 a year. Right. So again, there is a counterweight now to this whistleblower idea. I mean, that's my extent of being a whistleblower. I'm either blocking my retirement. Right. They sent me a fitness for duty like 8 months later after I submitted my paperwork. I'm like, yeah, come on. Right. Or after I left, I guess I submitted my paperwork a little bit after that. Right. So again, of course, they'll say you're a whistleblower, but the only thing is, I'm trying to go to a senator to try to counter the deep state. Back then, it was a big deal. I mean, big difference. You know, it was different. Deep state didn't own senators and congressmen. I mean, maybe a couple here and there, but not like it is now, where they, I'm not going. The senator and the staff go like, we're not going down like that. You're just too hot to handle. But of course, I used senator twice in my life. One was Senator Hines to make sure my marriage went through. They were blocking that. U.S. military. Nothing wrong with my wife. They were just going to play their game because somebody was paying. And then the second was Lautenberg, the Marshals. I was in New Jersey at the time. Oh, Lautenberg's the shortest spot in heaven. I mean, believe me, just pushing those buttons through. And what's her name? I forget his assistant's name. No, they've committed like 700 felonies against me in the Marshal Service. So when a senator says, "What's going on?" it went like smooth as sail. They weren't even going to say nothing. Although that guy Marshall, he became a marshal in D.C. What's his name? Hughes, the other Hughes. The other Hughes, he like OJT'd or not OG. I don't know what he did. He worked with Lautenberg for like a year. Right. So I'm not sure what the hell that was. He may have actually got his marshalship off of me using Lautenberg to retire. Right. So it's kind of weird. I'm like, there's the guy that he worked with Senator Lautenberg for like a year or something for some reason. But it's after my retirement, so it may have been to school the Marshal Service. I don't know. Right. I mean, Obviously, if I'd have walked off without money, I never would have worked again. I'd have been homeless, I guess, or on welfare completely. I mean, if I go to Taco Bell, they'd fire me within a week. I guarantee it. I couldn't even work at Taco Bell. And there'd be like this big, if the money was involved, there'd be a big write up on how bad I was. In fact, they'd call the police and say, "We got questions about this guy." That's the big thing. Right? No, they don't care if you're using narcotics or you're a sex trafficker. They don't care about nothing. They'll pay you whatever you ask. Funny money. All government contract money and all that shit. All monopoly money to them. It's not real. Except for the money that they sent to Comey, and then Comey works for the people that get the contract money. But Comey's not getting it. Mueller was sending them contracts. Comey was there working, getting his big no-show pay. Right. The elephant never forgets. So I started studying the suicides, right? Because there's a ton of suicides. I don't know if they're still there, but somehow they disappeared. Right? There's a bunch of federal suicides, and that's what that was. That was the deep state. I can't even tell you if any of them did what everybody alleged they did. Right? They'll tell you that we can tell if anybody doctors this or doctors that. It's BS, right? Online, no, they can make videos. First off, if you put it through the right channel at the FBI lab, nobody's going to say anything anyway. I'm sure CIA can make evidence look real. I'm sure. For anybody connected. Right. I agree. No, because they're supposed to use it overseas on like Maduro, not on U.S. citizens. Right. So again, there is a valid purpose for such effort. Right. It's a scam. Whole world's a scam. I told you that 20 years ago when I woke up. I know, an entire scam. Like a Telegram app. Come on. Anybody want to find out what's going on in Telegram, they're going to find out. Right. Just tell yourself, no matter what you're doing, if somebody has enough money, they're gonna know. And again, what you're not doing, if they have enough money, they'll make everybody believe you're doing it. Even if it's just paying people, and they go, "Yeah, not my head for $10,000." Of course, right? Agreed. Bless you, sir. Thank you, Larry. I finally figured out what was going on. I had a breaker, like, in the resettable. Actually, I think I was supposed to turn right before this. Actually, no, this is the one I took last time, I think. I had a resettable outlet, and I thought, in my mind, the light was on. It was good. It's like, I think the other outlets, it's a green light when it's good, and when the green light's out, then it's tripped. Well, this one's a red light, but I was thinking it was a light, so it wasn't tripped, but it was tripped. So I had to reset it, and everything went back in. So those resale power supplies are pretty good. The only way it'd be better is if I had 200-watt PDs, but for most phones, the 30-watt PD is fine. And then the 100-watt in is actually is also an out. So it's just the price of these things, and it's green, army green. I thought that looked pretty cool. Actually, it's saying Marine Corps. I guess I'm in the Marine Corps now. So what happened was I left the Army because I told they said, "More, why don't you stay? We'll make it worthwhile for you to stay and all that." And what happened was, do I want to turn here? I can't remember. What road is this? I don't see the crossroads, so I don't know. I'll go up there. I'll just turn one of my other phones on and get some land navigation going here. But was it? The Hunt first said, "More, we'll make it worth your while." And I was corporal at that point, and I'm thinking, I said, there's so many people that say they should have got out that first enlistment and shouldn't have stayed because it didn't turn out like they wanted to. I said, I'm just gonna get out and see what's out there, And I went out for about 6 months, and it just nothing hit. So I was thinking about the Marine Corps, but if I went to Marine Corps, I'd have to I'd have to go to basic again. I'm like, I don't know if I feel like that. I read the books and did the study on it and everything, and it's like, well, again, I probably end up something like Force Recon. I was like a LRP kind of guy. Even back then, I was like a long range reconnaissance engineer. And believe it or not, they started doing that big time. Right? People were at that level, right? So they could augmentees and stuff. Right? So the combat engineer was a hard way to go because you can get your respect. I mean, you got your respect in the 12B world, but you didn't get the respect in the 11B world. But like I said, when I got my air assault badge, I actually passed like 95% of the grunts. I mean, like the only people that like beat me in were on that final road march were like officers that went to like West Point and other places, and like had a whole summer of ranger school, this. I mean, they just they're thin as a rail and they run like a gazelle, But you can't, I was 12B. I was pretty big still, I wasn't big as I am now, but and but they were mad because the red flag, it was up front. We had a red flag, they had blue flag. So I passed up all the blue flags, and they were mad. But that's always, it was like that ever since I went to Egypt. You like Jesus said, ever since I went to Egypt, everything changed in my life. They couldn't kill me. So there is truth to Egypt. By the time Rabbi Yeshua was born, he went there to be saved. Right. Agree there. And then I went there, and my whole life turned around. As far as I was really healthy, and just as far as that part of it, I got supercharged running and all that. I mean, I just could do it on my own. I didn't. It wasn't required of me. Okay, I'm on the right road, but this is where I make my turn. I think you have to make a left or something. What is this road? I'm gonna go straight. Actually. So am I now on Thompson Run Road, or is this Thompson Run Road? I'm on Thompson Run Road, I guess. Right. So I'm on the right road, I guess. Well, it said Dunkin', like donuts. So yeah, I was gonna go on Marine Corps, but then I'm like, I don't feel like going to boot camp. Nah. So I said, well, let me look up Coast Guard. Maybe I'll get some interdiction going on there. I actually did. That's my first thought at possibly being with law enforcement. I was thinking, well, I'm gonna go in a Coast Guard. Maybe I can do some interdiction or something. Right? Like I want to be like Schwick, kind of deal. I was looking to do that. I guess I didn't know about Schwick. I never thought about it. I might have actually went in the Navy on my second enlistment if I'd have thought of Schwick. Right. That may have been a progression too. I might have did 4 years with the Coast Guard and then say, hey, I'm gonna go Schwick, or maybe even just go SEAL. Right. But the Coast Guard said, "Now I don't know if any of this is real at this point in my life," because they set me up like that. They'll go, "Oh, we're not taking anybody from any other service." I probably could look at that online, but yeah, I was like, they told me, "Oh, we're not taking anybody prior service from any other service," which doesn't make sense to me. This many years forward. So they may have, they call them up. They don't care, man. They got wiretap. They probably had a wiretap going. See? Call up, call Coast Guard. Guy answers the phone. He's already been briefed. Right? Or he calls me back. I can't remember how. It'd be more realistic if he called me back. Right? Thanks, sir. Now, it might have been true. That's crazy. The Coast Guard wasn't taking any other service. Remember, that would be benefit to the Coast Guard. Right. Big reason. A 12B sapper leader, and you're not taking people, right, in the Coast Guard. Spent 3 years in the 101st and deployed to Egypt. Now all the NCOs like ganged up on me one day. Come on, Mom. Just like work right before I left them. I should have known I was on my way out of the Marshal Service. But if I was awake, I'd have probably known. Actually, I got to pull my navigation up. I have to pull over here shortly. I think I'm going in the wrong direction. Doesn't feel right. I don't recognize any of this. I might be heading north for all I know. Trying to find a nice place to pull over. It said church. I guess I could have did that. I try not to pull in the church parking lots because that gives the corrupt law enforcement, oh, he's going to do something to a church. Right. And then they spend another 10 years in your life screwing up your life based upon you pulling into a church parking lot with a trailer because you're trying to figure out where you are. I'm serious. That's how bad it is. Because they'll put in the reports things that the other agents know to put in their reports because of the way it's worded. Right. There's probably 100 agents that lied, at least, and 1,000 agents that are involved in that corruption. Yeah, I'm probably on the wrong road. They cursed me pretty heavy today, but like I said, I'll have this thing returned by like 2 in the morning. I don't give a shit. Right. Yeah, they cursed me. I felt it this morning. Use the voice thing. No, I thought I was on a different road. Oh, this looks familiar though. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I'm going right. Babcock Boulevard Street. Oh yeah, I know exactly where I'm at. Okay, yeah, I'm almost there. I was wondering it because I usually go the other way instead of down this road, and then I cut into this road. Usually take this, what they call it, Vilsec. So then I went back in the Army. I can go to Korea. I said, that sounds good. And I go to Korea, well, most likely because the reason I ended up probably in 3rd Brigade, one reason is I was a sapper leader. But Sergeant Grant was in 3rd Brigade. Ended up in his platoon, of course, because I was a sapper leader, and he was actually the NCIC when I was there. He was actually the Russian commander in the POW camp. He had a Russian accent. You're like dog. You go for like, I don't know, like 7 days of walking and being deprived food. Right. It's like 24. You're not 24/7, but close as they can get it without you blowing yourselves up. Right. You're doing demolition. Almost every mission involves demolitions. So you have to patrol just like in Ranger School, but you also have to, when you get to the objective, you have to have before you go, you prepare your demolitions, and then you have to execute the demolition mission after the patrol. So you not only have to patrol, you got to be able to do all that. And there's little shortcuts and things you learn to prepare your stuff. So I went to Korea. It was a super troop up there. Boy, I could run. I was like getting to run like a gazelle myself. I don't know a person's heart could take all that. Right. And then I ended up in 3rd Brigade up by the DMZ. The reason we weren't on the other side of the DMZ is because we had missions that we had to execute on this side of the IMGIN, right? Or on the friendly side of the IMGIN. So that's why I think now they're even somewhere else. We had our own little place close to one of our missions, so we could drive up real quick. Probably wouldn't have lived, but so my first 6 months was spent as a dead man. My mission, there's no way to survive it. If the alert was called and it was real, there was no way for me to survive, or the NCO that was with me to survive, or the driver. There was a driver, an NCO, and then me. I was the guy that had to go down range on the target and hook up the explosives to the electric, the what do you call that, the detonator thing. Click, 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 click. we always use. Sappers use fuses. I don't remember doing too much electronics stuff. Oh, we learned that one thing. Somewhere along the way, we learned like some radio communication thing. That's back in the day. Now there's a ton of that. But we had an early, I think, radio device that detonated explosives. This is the A52-9 radio detonator. You'll never see this because Special Forces is the only one that actually uses this. But we'll show you how to use it. Now, my second 6 months, somebody got some word to somebody. So Sergeant Grant was supposed to go up and check on my marriage paperwork, or my extension, right? And when he came back, he was a whole different man, completely different. I couldn't figure out what's going on, what's up with him. He was going to check on it because he wanted me to extend it, right? And I was like his best buddy. I mean, he had me instructed in E7s, E6s, and E5s, and field expedient demolitions, and field expedient IEDs, and all that stuff. I mean, it was big back then because this stuff was nowhere. I was one of the few sappers, especially, as young as I was. I was probably the youngest guy to go through sappers. I don't know about now, but definitely back then. So Sergeant Grant turns into this asshole. So somebody said something. I'm sure they try to say, well, they got investigators waiting for them backstage. Some shit like, some deep state bullshit like that. Right. So Sergeant Grant's now Mr. Asshole, right? So my second 6 months, and it's more towards my last 3 months, was spent battling them. Right. Getting myself clear of that shit. And then same thing happened. But it took a long time at Fort Riley for anything to go any which way. I mean, they were moving, things were happening, but the chain of command wasn't following for any of it, right? But when First Sergeant Ford left, that was it. And the weird part is, the first sergeant, the guy that took over was in E7, a second platoon E7 or something. He was LDS, man. And he screwed up. He didn't advise me. Like Ford, we advised me right. Ford, and you know what? Ford and what's his name? Sergeant Major Sherrard left. And Sherrard was a Vietnam vet, and Ford was, just short of being a Vietnam vet, and he was a good guy. Right? I mean, not like some scammer. I mean, he's serious. I mean, he's like me. He's not gonna be overly hard on you, but you gotta, it's time to perform when it's time to perform. Right. Sherrard, he's a little nutty. He was a little nutty there. I wasn't like, because I didn't like putting the stones to people, man. I hate to say that. It's kind of a rough thing to say, but right. I don't like that. He would do that. Like Sergeant Mikado, they put him out of the army, and I wish he was more physically fit, but he was a good NCO, man. The idea of, even before I went to combat, I realized how that all worked. Well, people are important. You may have the worst troop in the world. Oh, this is real nice. They're in front of my park in front of my unit. I wonder if the deep state. They just pulled in. When I was leaving Colorado, they parked their vehicles so I couldn't access my trailer doors. All right, so you all they're gonna be right there. It's gonna be a mess. I have to go around the back end anyway. Are you going to be staying right there for long? Oh, I can't. No. She's not hearing what I'm saying. She don't get it. I have to go around them. But anyway, my big stuff that I got to put in first is in the other stuff. You've got your doors open, lady. Her back passenger right side door flew open. I'm trying to get past, lady. What are you doing, lady? I wonder if she's part of the deep state. She's either stupid or part of the deep state. Thank you. They're all stressed out. The young couple moving. Just curse off the deep state when you feel like that when you're moving. It gets much better. Moving's not hard. It's the deep state when they curse you while you're moving. Y'all didn't know they were watching it, did you? Hills have eyes, man. Hills have eyes. Committed so many crimes they can't help but not curse you. Paranoid. Constantly taking over the world for Satan. Art, more art. That thing charged up on 60 watts quick. Yeah, I'm trying to charge up my wireless mic now. No, they're what the bottom line is they're all narcissists. So they can't have a good day until you have a bad day. You understand how that works? They could be Elon Musk rich. They don't give a shit until you have a bad day. They're not happy until you have a bad day. That's what deep state is. Like me, they know I'm happy with, like, if I had $100,000 in the bank, I'd be like, oh, I'm so rich, this is so much wonderful. Right? Remember, no matter what happens to them, they're going to make their victim's life worse. So no matter what happens to them, they make their victim's life worse, and then they're happy. But yeah, let's say their victim could, again, I brought it up with Legend, the movie Legend. Hashem put something in there that you all don't know about. Wow, I don't have that much stuff in here. All right. Where he at the end where he goes, I can save you, and they go, no, or I can heal you, whatever it is, right? And they go, no. That's what I've been putting up with the whole time, right? They know it. They don't care, man. They're just sick of it. You have to have a bad day because Satan set him into you. There's no doubt. Well, the way it worked out, if you didn't understand how it was how Hashem did it, he got them to admit to being a deep state based upon some psyop they created about how wonderful the deep state is. But what's the deep state actually? And not everybody that fights the deep state is actually fighting the deep state. Once it got to a certain point, then it became the end thing to fight the deep state. Some people, made, and then of course some spies are in there to actually discredit it somewhat. They tried to, at least. Well, they all admitted to being deep state, saying that it was patriotic to be deep state. Kind of like Trump in reverse. So again, you have to understand, they admitted. And again, I was calling it something else, and then eventually it morphed into being deep state, being called deep state. I'm the one that started speaking. I said the federal racketeering organization, Federico, right? Because it was all RICO. That's what it is. They turned the executive branch into RICO. Who would be the best at setting up a RICO organization? FBI and DOJ. They know everything about this. They know all the best methods and right. But they admitted to it at first, going, "Yeah, we're saving the country by being this deep state." I'm not sure what we were calling it back then, but Again, I was calling it a secret society, and it was a secret society of assassins. Yeah, I would have liked to have done it tomorrow or Friday, or I guess we'll say Thursday or Wednesday. Wednesday, I think. Right. I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it tomorrow or Friday, but it looked like rain was coming. I don't know if it is. So I said, quick, get the trailer and let's get this done before the rain goes. Right. And then once I'm out of these storage units, then I'm at my own leisure again. I'll, have a storage unit up there, which I'm going to have to deal. Let it be for now. Wish I'd have got my free month like they had advertised. Where'd that tongue go? Just went in. This is a pretty easy load. The only furniture I have is these kitchen carts. And the way you do that in these trailers, because it's a low deck. If you go with a truck, it has a higher deck. And the other trailer unit has a lower deck. Well, you just pick that front end up, lay it on the deck, and then roll it up into the as if you're two people. Yeah, I don't know. I have to see when I get to the end of this, but it looks like I'm only going to have one trip with the trailer, and the rest might fit in the van. All right. I just have to get to the other storage unit. There's not much in here. Well, when I was healing people and I wasn't really contacting the government, all that, just kind of a little bit to the senators, all that, and right, it was I was still healing people, so I was still doing that's considered national. Believe it or not, there's an inside on all that, and that's considered national service. Right. I tried helping people in the government realize that when it goes forward, there's a bunch of people behind them helping. Now, an effort can't help. An effort can't help. With Satan and all that, you can't really help. They can harm your enemy possibly, but it's just not. Again, when you bring demons, it doesn't work the way it does that. Thinks it works. Actually, I think my volume is getting too low here.